Good morning, class. My name is Miss Fabila, and today we will be learning how to work and solve equations that have double signs. Double signs are two signs, either addition or subtraction, next to each other in an equation. For this class, we will need our math journals, a pencil, and a marker. Before starting today's lesson, let's go over some of the vocabulary that we will be using in this class. The first word that we will be hearing today is double sign. A double sign is when two signs, addition or subtraction, in between two numbers. And then the other word we'll be hearing today is single sign, which is one sign, positive or negative, in between two numbers. Now that we have gone over the important terms, it is time that I introduce the double sign conversion chart. You will take notes in your journal. For this part, we will only be using pencil. What the double sign conversion chart says is that if there's a number here and then there's a minus sign and a negative number inside of the parentheses, the answer you will get will be positive. And if you have a number out here and there's a plus sign and then a positive number inside of the parentheses, your answer will also be positive. And if you have a number in front of here and a minus sign and then a positive number in front of the inside of the parentheses, your answer will be negative. And if there's a number right here and a plus sign and then a negative number inside of the parentheses, the answer you will get will be negative. Now, in order to remember the double sign conversion chart, I will teach you a song. Here are the words to the song. It goes with the row, row, row your boat. So I'm going to sing it first and then you will sing it 2 more times with me. And it goes like this. Same signs add, different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the larger number, then you will be exact. Now you try it with me. Same signs add, different signs subtract. Keep the sign of a larger number, then you will be exact. One more time. Same signs add, different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the larger number, then you will be exact. Good job, class. Now, I will be teaching you the steps to solve a double sign problem. So, for this part, you will write the steps and the sample problems down in your journal, and we will continue to use pencil only. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and wait to be called on. So the first thing you have to do when you have a problem that you're trying to solve with double signs is find and circle the double sign. Then you're going to replace the double sign with the single sign, and then you will use the addition and subtraction rules. And the addition and subtraction rules are that if the signs are the same, you add and keep the sign, but if the signs are different, you subtract the big number and keep the sign of the bigger number. Now we're going to do a practice problem. Our sample problem that we will be doing today is -3 plus parentheses -2. The first thing you have to do is circle your double sign, and a positive and a negative gives you a negative. So our problem turns into -3 plus -2. And then you solve, and when you solve, that gives you -5. So our answer to the problem would be -5. Now that I have shown you the steps and done a sample problem, it is time for us to practice some more. For this part, we will continue to use our journals, our pencils, and our markers. With these examples write these examples in your notebook with your pencils. Do not use the marker until I do so. So the first sample problem that we will be doing is -2 plus parentheses plus 4, and then we close the parentheses. And what do we have to do first? Circle the double sign. And that is a positive and a positive. And a positive and a positive gives us a positive, remember? So when we write it down, it's going to have a positive in between. It's going to be -2 plus 4. And we have to solve for that. And the answer is 2. So this was problem number 1. Now let's do problem number 2. For problem number 2, we will be doing -6 minus parentheses -3. And then remember, we have to circle our double sign. And remember, it's a negative and a negative, so we're going to have a positive. So now the problem turns into negative 6 plus 3. And the answer we will get is negative 3. Here's our second problem. And then our third example we will be doing right here. And our third example is 7 minus parentheses plus 8, close the parentheses. And then the first thing we have to do is circle the double sign. A negative and a positive gives you a negative. So it turns into 7 minus 8 equals negative 1. And for our fourth sample problem, we will be doing 5 plus negative 1, close the parentheses, and then we circle our double sign. A positive and a negative gives you a negative, so we will be having 5 minus 1 equals 4. Good job. Now that we have the steps and some examples written down, it is time for you to try some problems on your own. You may work with a partner or in groups, and I will give you 10 minutes to work. Now it's time for us to write the problems down. The first problem that we'll be working is this one. And it is negative 7 plus parentheses negative 2, close the parentheses, and then you solve for this. The second problem that we will be doing is 5 plus, close parentheses, plus 7. And we solve for it. And the third problem we will be doing is negative 2 plus parentheses negative 3. And we solve for this. I will come back in 10 minutes and check y'all's work. Okay, now that the 10 minutes are over, we will be going over our problems. So for the first problem, we have negative 7 plus parentheses negative 2. The first thing that we have to do is what, class? Good job. Circle the double sign. A positive and a negative gives us a negative in between. So let's change it. Negative 7 minus 2. And remember that we have to add these. So our answer is what, class? Negative 9. Good job. For our second problem, we have 5 plus parentheses positive 7. Let's circle our double sign. A positive and a positive gives us a positive. And we have 5 plus 7 equals 12. Good job. And for our last problem, we have negative 2 plus parentheses negative 3. Let's circle our double sign. And what does a positive and a negative give us, class? Good job. It gives us a negative. So this turns into negative 2 minus 3 equals negative 5. Great job, class. Today we learned how to solve equations that have double signs. We did so well. Let's kiss our brains for that. I will be sending out a short homework assignment so I can see how well everyone learned solving equations with double signs. Bring it back tomorrow. If everyone does well, we will move forward.